Dr. Kemi for Kemi Talks Media. It's Wednesday, the 28th of May, 2025. Let's talk about Speed Darlington and the video that he made that he actually had intercourse with an underage girl who was 15 at the time. I have a lot of questions about that video, and I also have a lot of messages for Nigerians. I went to VDM's page, I read comments. The comments are 7,000. I can't possibly read 7,000, but I read a majority of comments that seem to think it's cruise and it's funny and all the different things. There are a lot of girls who have been abused sexually, harassed, and assaulted. I told my story in April when my father died. I did not like my father throughout my entire life. Some things appear to you like, oh, Kemi and her father are close, Kemi is her father's favorite, all that stuff. No, it's not always true. Can't judge a book by the cover. Okay, I've told my story. You can go watch the playlist on YouTube or TikTok at Dr. Kemi Olunloyo. I'll briefly tell you my story again so that you can understand what I'm trying to talk about to Speed Darlington. First of all, we ran into a riot, the Alimos Go riot, at 7 p.m. on Ikorodu Road. Not Ikorodu Road. As you get off Ojota and you enter Lagos. There were two cars, there were federal government plates. I was in one car with my dad and my brother, and all the other kids were with my mother in the second car. As we drove into Ikorodu Road, they were pelting rocks on the car. The reason is because they noticed the federal government tax, so we were an easy target for them. This is one of the reasons why I said anyone going to Tanzania today should be very careful, because there's political violence going on there and a lot of things. They've shut down Twitter over there. We had no internet, nothing in those days. The only thing we had was the radio, but we'd never turned the radio on throughout the trip. So as the driver got struck with a big rock, because we were driving through them, he died. Car slowed down and stopped, and the rioters came. They opened the petrol tank and set the car on fire. While we were in the burning car, I looked at my brother on the side. He was 8 years old. Taya died at 51. He lived 43 years on a wheelchair with no livelihood, seizures and everything. Half of his brain was showing, and blood was gushing out. A man came in and threw me out of the car. They were trying to get us all out of the car. As they threw me out of the car, I watched my dad trying to get Taya. But at that point when they threw me out of the car, that's when my head hit the pavement and I lost my eye. I'm blind in one eye, yes. And I'm actually deaf in one ear. And the other ear is amplified. You don't know what people are going through. At that very moment, a whole lot of guys just picked me up. They tore my clothes. I was naked, and they were throwing me in the air. They were surfing me in the air. And everybody had their hands in my pussy. Yeah, their hands like this in my vagina. Like 30, 40 hands. They broke my hymen. I lost my virginity. There was blood all over my legs, between my legs. I screamed for pain. I screamed. I was dying. I was screaming a bloody scream. And I watched my father. Daddy, Daddy, help me. Daddy. My father ran away. My father ran away from me and my brother. It was strangers that took my brother to Igbobi. At one point, a stranger came into the crowd of men and grabbed me and was running away with me. Imagine a man running away with a naked girl. He rescued me. I want to know who that man is today. And if I calculate the age of the person, he took me to his house, and there was a woman there, and the woman gave me a bath, and they rushed me to the hospital. At that point, they saw me on TV because I was already missing. My parents had already gone to the TV, Lagos TV. Well, let me tell you something, people. Okay, as you watch this video, it can happen to you. It can happen to your child, your grandchild. For all the people that laughed at me in April when I did this video, everybody in the media talked about this. All the newspapers carried it. Even TVC had my video. Let me remind you very carefully, it can happen to you and your grandchild or your granddaughter. Okay? Some of you said, oh, Davido's tweet, go and oil your pussy. You're rusty down there. You need some oiling. Some people said on YouTube that this is why that Davido tweet cut deep into Kemi. I haven't forgiven Davido. You don't forgive people who are not remorseful. You have to be remorseful before I forgive you. You have to be able to apologize and say you're sorry. Okay? If you're alive, you can say you're sorry. My father never said he was sorry one time. My mother hid everything from the world. And then At 52 years old, my father went to the Premium Times and paid that newspaper, Nicholas Ibekwe, an investigative journalist, paid him to publish a letter that I was mentally unstable and I accused him of sexual, abuse. This was a narrative my father painted to the Nigerian media and the Nigerian public that I was mentally unstable because he was scared that I would tell you guys what happened in 1978. And then everybody would blame him, especially Obasanjo, Babangida, and all the leaders that he took money from to treat my brother Tayo. Nobody treated me. I got nothing. And I'm appealing to the Lagos State Domestic Violence and Sexual Violence Agency now to look into my case. I am asking the Nigerian government to compensate me for all these years, 47 years. Many of you don't know anything about sexual violence. I'm going to be 61 in a couple of months. And I told this story for the first time on my 60th birthday last year, which shook some people, but not everybody saw it. But until my father died, you were sending me condolences. I did not talk about my father's death for 3 days. Everything I posted on my social platforms, you would just litter it with my dad. And then I spoke out. Don't send me any fucking condolences. My parents betrayed me. I'm not part of that family. Sexual violence hurts. And now I will go to Speed Darlington. What Speed Darlington did is a form of PTSD, what I'm suffering right now. Some of you donated to my medical fees. I asked for almost $4,000. I've gotten like $2,800. I haven't got all my fees. I've been in the hospital getting treatment for my leg, and I go outpatient to PTSD therapy. And I can tell you nice and clearly that what Acme is going through is called PTSD, but it's not the victim. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a reliving of trauma. When I watched this video and I heard him saying that a child, a 15-year-old, he had sex with an underage girl and the girl was bleeding. The girl's hymen was broken and bleeding, which is typical because some people, when they're dysvirgin, they have blood on their first time. Look at how I was dysvirgin. The woman that laughed and said, after 47 years, you should have gotten over it. I told her, I said she should get plastic forks in her kitchen, about 30. Plastic forks with sharp edges. Put it in her hands like this and take her granddaughter and put it in her, shove it through her vagina and tell me how she feels. Video it and send it to me. That's how I felt. Speed Darlington just expressed something called trauma, reverse trauma. The girl that was actually, having sex with him at that time, okay, that particular girl is also going to come up with some PTSD symptoms, relieving the trauma. But will she be really relieving trauma? Did she enjoy it? Or she felt that she was raped? This is called statutory rape. You see, statutory rape is when you have sex with an underage girl. There's been teachers who had sex with their students in America, and they charged them and arrested them and convicted them for statutory rape. It might not be a rape. The girl might not be forced, but she was underage. Acme, let me give you an advice now. Lagos State Domestic Violence and Sexual Agency said they're investigating you. Okay, they can do all they want, but there's nothing they can do without the victim coming, if she's really a victim. That person is a young lady now, about 25. If you look at 10 years ago, is that person going to come forward? No, they're not going to come forward. You don't know what's happened in their life. You don't know what they've become. What if that person is a medical doctor somewhere in Canada doing well in their life? You want them to relive that? No, it's not going to happen. So by you making that video, you are taunting that woman. Okay? If that's the cruise part that people are talking about, you're taunting that woman, and you shouldn't. Remember, you're a U.S. citizen. You're carrying a U.S. passport, Acme. If Mr. Trump finds out about what you just did, statutory rape, you could be arrested on entry back into the U.S. at any time. Be very careful. It is not funny over there, and you could lose your citizenship. USCIS and ICE and all of them are not playing.